And here we are. Hello. Welcome,
Sabrina.
Katarina. Welcome to your tarot mini-series journey, where you want to dive in. If you'd like, you can dive in deeper with us with the tarot cards, major arcanas, and learn how to apply them to yourself, to your life, and also maybe eventually learn how to dive in deeper in your readings as well.
Mm-hmm.
Today we're doing
the Empress.
Yeah.
Our divine feminine energy.
The goddess herself.
And also number 3. We should the number 3 is usually in numerology is always related to her because number 3 is creativity and
the
harmony.
The sacred trinity also
bringing to collaborate is a collaborative number. It's really beautiful, actually. Trinity. Yes.
1 + 1 = 3.
Yes.
Not 2.
Yes.
As we saw in one of our episodes.
So the Empress is the manifestation of the divine feminine energy. She is our nurturer. She's our mother, our divine mother. You don't have to be a mother to resonate with the Empress. Whether you could be a masculine resonating with the divine feminine here, because remember, we are 2 parts. If you are physically a feminine, then your higher self is a masculine. So you are the union of both regardless, right? And she's just like, what?
I find that interesting.
No.
I don't resonate.
Yeah, you don't resonate with that
completely with that.
That's my interpretation.
It's a beautiful and representation of both counterparts, right? I think for me, it's we have both counterparts no matter what. And one is just representing of a particular interaction versus the other interaction, right? The feminine is all about the nurturer, but also the receiver in the blessings, the receiver in
and the masculine is the output.
The masculine is the
higher self is you anyways, right?
Yeah.
So I think we're saying the same thing.
Maybe.
Because the higher self is not something separate, even though I always say like this.
Yeah, it's true.
It's not really separate from you.
It's true. That I agree. 100%.
So the Empress, if you take her, there's the keywords for her is fertility, abundance, nurturing, compassion, self-love, self-care. If you take the card in itself, there's a lot of, this is the original Rider-Waite. So there's a lot of this is Venus, this is the female symbol, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Female. And she, there's so many things happening here. And she's wearing a dress of pomegranate, which is fertility. Yeah. Abundance, and she's also sitting on a throne, and she's in the forest, and there's water trickling near her. So she's fully emotional, receiving of love. And she's also giving of love. I love it, actually. I never look at these cards long and hard. But anyways, I'm always talking here. She's if you get this card in a reading, and if you're looking to have a baby, this is the greatest card you could ever have. She is
the representation of a pregnancy as well. If you see she wearing this big dress where you see the belly a little bit. And she's the ultimate abundance card as well, because she's the receiver. But you need to be pretty ingrained in this self-love for self to actually be able to receive everything, right? You need to feel worthy to receive. You need to feel lovable enough to accept everything. We talk a lot about self-love in our podcasts, and we talk a lot about, but we don't talk about how it's important to actually receive things that we want, right?
She's the ultimate receiver of love, but she's also interesting because she's also the ultimate giver of it,
the ultimate nurturer. Because she holds that space, right? She is the feminine, holds the space. That energy holds the space, and this is where the masculine and feminine have these characteristics, just in different ways, because the masculine also has a nurturing phase. It just slightly different. In regards to the feminine, she's the womb, right? She holds where everything is marinating, everything is kind of coming to life for the purpose of giving, or for the purpose of receiving the seed, right? So that ultimate care, the ultimate love nest.
And she's the Empress card is ruled by the planet of Venus, and Venus is love, right? Men are from Mars, women are from Venus, and Venus rules Taurus and Libra. But I would like to do a little side note of this, because I don't think I mentioned this in the Magician card, because of all the zodiac signs, every zodiac sign is ruled by a planet. Taurus and Virgo don't have planets that are associated, because they're have not yet been discovered. The planet. So now Taurus and Libra are with, Taurus has jumped onto Libra, Venus, and Virgo has jumped into the Gemini, Mercury. That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
I found that was interesting. Anyways, but in this case, Taurus and Libra, I always feel like she's a Taurus more than a Libra. But
really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, she's the ultimate abundance receiving.
She's the ultimate five senses. She's the ultimate, like, I want to feel sensual. I love to see things. I love to touch. You know, Taurus are all about the senses, and I find she's exactly. And Libra could be that too.
Yeah,
and she's earthy.
Yeah, that's the thing, earthy. But you see, I always see her as Cancer for some reason.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, the ultimate mother, the caregiver. Like the Cancer is very home, right? Yeah, they wear their home on their back.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. But traditionally, it's Taurus or
Libra. Libra's all about relationship, because Libra is the seventh house, which is relationships.
Yeah,
so I figured that's like that. But anyways, so the Empress, like,
who creates? Who decides this? We don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, right? It's true if you really think about it.
Huh?
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
But if tarot, like we always say, it's like interpretive. And if you just look at the card, you couldn't fully understand. Like she said, her dress is like big. So you can't tell is she really pregnant? Is she like overweight? And overweight is something interesting, because back in the days, that was seen as like beautiful, and it's seen as like wealthy, and you know,
abundant, 100%. Because you can store and eat and get more voluptuous. It's a sign of wealth, because you have that food, you have that amount to actually put in your body and get.
So I think we're going to do this as we move on. We're going to start bringing out the areas of our life kind of thing. Like we're going to talk about love and work and what each card represents in that. So like when you get this, like if you're asking a question about love, it means that you are it's like commitment, right? It's like a committed relationship. Like the Empress is not in it for to swing, you know, she's not in it for a one night stand. No, absolutely not. Yeah. She's in it for the long haul. Yeah, and you better like treat her like a freaking queen while you're in it. Like give her the attention, because she's going to return it at tenfold. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And you give it the attention because she knows her worth.
Yes.
She knows her worth enough to be like, you know what, this is not working.
Yes.
So if you don't come correct, she releases you with love, but she releases you. Yeah. So 100%. It's all about that committed. It's if you're asking about love and this is the card you get, you know, it's usually a confirmation. Yes, this is the one. If that's what you're looking for. If you're not looking for a committed relationship, well then don't go with whoever.
Like if you just want to have like a one-time non-committal love, and you get this, then the universe is saying, well, maybe you're on the right path, because a real commitment is coming your way, which is kind of interesting. And if you get the Empress in career, it means that the Empress is like, usually I see the Empress as an entrepreneur. I don't know. I see her always owning her own business.
Well, she's like the queen of queens, right?
Of like everything.
Yeah, she's the ultimate queen. She's the queen of all queens. So in the minor arcana, you have Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Swords, Queen of Cups, and you have Queen of Wands. And she's like the queen that represents of all of them. She embodies all of them, right? So yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
I see her being like, you know, if she's not owning her own business, then she's like a top dog. Like, you know, she's like has a lot of, she's able to delegate. Yeah. You know, like she's not someone who will be like, she always wants her voice heard, but not in that like a Queen of Swords kind of way, you know, in like a more nurturing way. And she's a behavioral manager. You know, she's not an alpha, where like the emperor is an alpha, I feel. And she's more like, okay, let's work together. Let's collaborate. Number 3. Well, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, 100%. She embodies all the good and bads of every queen. She has fully integrated them all, and she knows how to use them at the right moment, at the right place, and at the right time. And it's usually for collaboration purposes.
Yeah. So like she'll have meetings. She'll like cater the meetings. Like she'll make like it's fun, you know.
Yeah,
I like that. It's cool. And nurturing with her colleagues. She's there. She's gonna help. She's gonna be supportive of her colleagues or employees or everybody.
And she sees the gifts, right? Because she's able to tap into all of these elements. She's able to see people's gifts, and this is why she's a great delegator, because she's actually sees the potential and who is best placed where.
Yes,
right?
So exactly. And then when it comes to money and finances, if you see this card, it's like, yay, because she's super generous and also really good with her finances. I don't know where Taurus went, me. But she's like, but she's maybe even too over generous with that. But
which is part of the shadow, which we'll get
to after.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's pros and cons if you're not doing the work. There's shadow work.
Yeah, we'll get that. And so that means abundance.
Yeah, and she's the best receiver too, in her fullness and her full expression, her truth of self. She knows how to receive, and she knows how to receive with gratitude, which is the key element. She doesn't need to feel. There's no self lack mentality within her. She knows she deserves something, and when it comes her way, she receives it with gratitude, because she knows she's worked.
Unless she's feeling insecure, then we'll get there.
The shadow side of the card as well, right? 100%.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And if you're asking about health and you get the Empress, then you know that all systems go, right? You're good. She's fully like abundant and also fully fertile. Yeah. Like it's a great omen to get. It's a great card to get. For that.
Upright. And I mean, some people, and that's the beauty of tarot too.
Growth.
You can have upright or reverse. Or some people don't even honor the reversals, and they just go with their intuition, saying like, oh, if I'm meant to see something more negative or a little less positive, well, I'll see it in the card regardless. Because that's the whole point of tarot, is to use your intuition. To me, it's always been that. It's a tool. That's it. So yeah, in the wealth department, I mean, look at her. Yeah, she's
luxuriating in her freaking on her throne.
She's pregnant.
Yeah,
she's like
but also she's like holding a wand in her hand, kind of. She has like crown of stars. Like she's having the light of her party. You know, it's like she's like enjoying herself, and she knows how to do it fully. Yeah, the Empress is like, if you want to like hire someone to for entertainment or for whatever, you hire an Empress. You know, you could feel that energy right away. Does it have to be a Taurus and a Libra? No, but she has to exude a little bit of like joie de vivre. Like, let's get this started. But also, she's not just like a party. She's also okay. Give me the money. This is it. You know, she's also very managerial.
She's that's why grounded. Yeah, she's very grounded. Very grounded. So she knows it's all about balance, right? Libra is all about balance, right? It's all about like give and take, the equal give and take. And this is where it becomes super important for the Empress to step into that Empress energy. If you're trying to work with that energy, or if you see in a card, she's all about the equal give and take. And she's aware that sometimes the give and take won't be necessarily equal, but it would be there's another word, etiquette, where sometimes
adequate.
No, it's not adequate. Doesn't matter. She knows that sometimes the tips will scale, but they'll always come back, right? Sometimes you're going to have to work a little harder in the family just to get everything secure as if somebody gets into an accident, you know what I mean? But the rescaling always comes back, right? She's not going to just give to somebody that just takes, you know what I mean?
She will, though, at the beginning. Until she's not into like over.
Yeah, this is where the shadow comes into place. I'm talking about fullness, the full expression of the Empress. But that's the beauty of these cards too, because there will be challenges. And are you going to learn the challenges? Are you going to face them? And you'll get to,
In the reverse, like when you get, like we're in a card reading and we get a reversal, or like this, like she said, if she sees like whatever you see,
the challenging
challenge, this is the resistance of the Empress. This is like when you see it in reverse, it's like it's not a bad thing always. You're just resisting abundance. You're resisting love. You're resisting nurturing. You're closing yourself off. You feel unworthy, right? Or it could also be like you're giving permission to someone to take advantage of you. You're giving permission to someone to stomp all over you in love, because you're giving everything but not receiving.
No boundaries.
No boundaries. Awesome. Yeah.
No boundaries. The Empress is very good with her boundaries. Taurus, the whole give and take. Libra, like it's all about, this is the line, don't step on it. Reverse, sometimes there's the people pleaser, like, oh, if I've been programmed to give and not receive, because that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm a mother.
I'm going to sacrifice my life for my children and for my friends and for everybody. It's like the guilt and the whole, and that's a program, right? To sacrifice anything.
It's not self-love. That's for sure. It's not self-love. It's the opposite of self-love. And boundaries is really there. Eventually, you won't even need boundaries, because the people that come to you, you've already established, this is the way I want to be treated. And it comes back to the compromising, right? You don't compromise your truth and your self-worth for a moment for someone to feel better about themselves. You know what I mean? Like that sacrificing of your self-worth, your truth
for another,
for somebody else that might not even appreciate you,
even if they do.
Or doing
it's
that.
Not about it though.
It's true.
Not about them.
Yeah.
Like you're doing, because if you're doing it for you're doing it for them. Let's say but you need to do it for you.
Yeah,
it's coming from your heart.
Yeah.
It's not because you want them to say, "Oh my God, you're so amazing."
Yeah.
And the divine feminine in the program seeks this, like, what is that word I'm looking? Validation. This could be this too. The Empress in reverse is like, she seeks validation from others for the love that she's giving, but is it really coming from,
it's that codependency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's also this, which I like, is like the overbearing, the like smothering, and the helicopter-ish.
But again, it comes back to that sense of
I need
fear.
to keep him because I don't trust him, or I need to, like,
I don't trust the world.
But it comes to yourself again.
Yeah. Or I don't like what, and it comes back. Yeah, exactly. It comes back to self. Like, if something happens to him, how am I going to look? Right? How am I going to feel?
Yeah.
Or I'm going to guilt.
I'm going
to guilt trip myself because I'm the one that didn't protect him. Right.
Or her, or whatever.
Or her.
Right. Like whatever it is for you.
So it comes back to this codependency, and to me, it's all coping mechanisms, right? A coping mechanism from probably something that felt traumatic at a past experience, that you develop these coping mechanisms, right?
There's all we can bring up a lot for the divine feminine, because the divine feminine we have a program within us that is we need to prove ourselves. The woman has to prove herself to be the top of the game, or the top of this, or the top of that. When all along we never had to prove anything to ourselves. We don't have to prove anything to anyone. Because if we loved ourselves, which you have seen in episode 5, and you trusted yourself, which you could see in episode 6, then we don't have to compare ourselves to the Emperor, because she doesn't compare herself to the Emperor. No. And she's actually, what's really beautiful about the tarot, it's the queens and the king. The hierarchy of the tarot, the page, the knight, the queens, the king. The queen does all the work. She gathers all the information that the knight brings her. She takes it all, she sorts it out, and then she hands it over to the king, and the king delivers, right? He takes action.
Takes action.
That's the word. But there has to be organization before taking action. And I'm not saying it's better than the taking
No.
action, because both are important.
They're just as important, and they know that.
And they work
know
together.
that.
And that's like something that
beautiful.
we've had to deal with in this silly society, is this division. I'm better than the man. I'm a boss bitch, or it's not that. We need each other.
The hating of both masculine and feminine. It's
Well,
funny.
we'll talk about that.
Also, it's funny. I'm just gonna bring this. Like,
Yeah.
I was talking with a friend, and that is like the biggest. We were talking. He was saying, he said something super important. It's like the biggest spiritual division right now that is being used, a separation. It's like almost, it's this man against women,
Totally.
in this feminine
sisterhood,
exactly.
Like, let's like promote all the women. I'm like, why are we doing this? Are you for real? Like, I get irked too about that, because like I don't care if you're a man or a woman, or you're a certain color of skin or a certain religion. I don't care. I will support you regardless.
Yeah,
so why are we dividing?
Yeah, it's a new division. It's a new way of dividing, and we need both. Why are we segregating? Why are we? I'm done. I'm done with that kind of like
train of thought. It's like
attitude, mentality, behavior, belief system. No. We're here to. This is exactly how how easy it is to control somebody by creating this division, creating this enemy, right?
And like learning to fall in love with what you chose as an avatar,
and choosing,
and just be okay with whatever it is, and whatever your strength is and whatever your weakness is, because it's all the same, right? It's just a polarity.
Exactly. And loving that polarity, that we have both, that we don't have to do everything, that we don't have to do all the load, that we have this beautiful energies that could take off a big part of it, right?
Yeah. There's so much to look at into that, because we will do that episode.
Yeah, 100%.
Because there's an over sexualization of the feminine to be something I don't know, and it's like an over and over. There's an over of all of it.
And that's what I love
feminine
about
and masculine.
Yeah, and that's what I love about the Empress and Emperor. It's well balanced
union
to
working together.
Yeah, and except if you're in the shadow aspect.
If she's in the shadow, like, let's go into the fields, because it's really interesting. If you're a shadow, if you're asking us about love, and she's in the shadow aspect, then she's definitely feeling worthless, like unworthy.
Yeah.
Or she could be feeling jealous, right? Because it makes sense.
Unworthy, which again, it stems down to unworthiness, right? You don't feel like you're lovable, so all these emotions come where it's like this overbearing, this codependency,
like clingy. You're like, you become very like not trusting.
Yeah, and she's ultimate trust,
and she is, and it's so funny, right? So you're like, oh my god. But there's a point in love where we've all experienced it, right? Let's say I'm a Taurus, like, and but whatever, right? Because we're all Empresses, right? So we're all like, we're in a relationship. Look, I have the wings in my head like this. We're all, that's so crazy.
I love it.
You're in a relationship. I don't know how many times, like I could say this, maybe it's happened in all my relationships, and your boyfriend or your husband, whatever, is like looking at another woman, right? And it's just, and he could be just appreciating her beauty, which I don't have a problem with that now, right? Because I appreciate men too, but at the moment, you're feeling insecure at that moment, and you're like, yo, are you for real? Why are you looking at that woman? That Empress in reverse is like, would be like, maybe that's what the wings are like. The bull, like,
talking about the painting behind her for all those that are
podcast.
Yeah, the wings. There's like little painting with wings, and it's just falling perfectly on her head. But that's the beauty also of the Empress upright. Like, the way I see it is like, she's honest with her emotions. So instead of just being jealous, she is open about her insecurities, and also has compassion for her insecurities as well.
She's upright. Open? Okay.
I'm talking about like the upright version of it, because you have the shadow aspect. If you're jealous, it's because you're insecure about feeling unworthy, right? There's an insecurity of not feeling good about yourself because something's wrong. That must be wrong.
I don't see her as being open about her insecurity though.
I never did until right now. I never did until right now, because the Empress is a full receiving.
Yeah, I
receiving
guess.
everything, all the emotion. She loves every single part of herself. She's the ultimate like flow. She's the ultimate flow. So whatever happens inside, she's just accepting of it.
Okay.
And I feel like
okay, interesting.
And this Emperor and Empress, I feel like she could be the most honest with her Emperor if she's feeling safe enough, right? And this could actually be a reason why she's in reverse, because she might not feel safe in her environment. And if we're going into love, that could be one of the things that comes up, where she doesn't feel safe in her environment and feel her emotions fully as well, right?
Yeah. I like it. Good
Yeah,
one.
this came up actually. I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like making the connections as we get into this card, which I love.
So if you're asking about work and you get the Empress in reverse, it means that you have a loss, like your battery is at zero, right? Like there's no creativity, there's no potential. There's nothing.
Yeah.
It's like you're at a 0 point, but a negative zero.
Which could also be
an insecurity again.
Yeah, again, it could also be a self-worth, or you're comparing yourself. Maybe you're comparing yourself too much to people. And it's a question of like, okay, why does this bother me so much too? Why,
like you're not motivated. You're feeling you're lazy. The Empress could be really lazy. Look at her, man. She's just like totally enjoy. Like she can like, don't F with her. Like don't bother her. It could also be like if you're a manager or an owner or someone like important, maybe when you get this card that day that you pull it, maybe you shouldn't be interacting with too many people because you might be very sensitive.
Yeah.
So it's like something to pay attention to, because I know all you guys, some of you pull cards in the morning. If you get the Empress in reverse, you got to know to tread slowly here because your insecurity is on a high, and it's okay.
And you might just get triggered.
You might get triggered. So in finances, obviously, it's like if you ask it, like, how are my finances going? Not great right now, so don't go spending money. Don't go to the restaurant this weekend. It
could also be like
scale back.
Yeah, it could also be maybe you are spending too much.
Over generous,
over giving, overspending, overindulging.
Yeah,
it could be gluttony as well.
Yes.
So,
or you're feeling useless. Like it could be a lot of things.
The core could be because you're feeling useless, so you want to spend, so you feel something. It could be the addiction too, no?
Yeah.
Technically speaking.
It could be.
Yeah. It could be addiction too, where it's like you're numbing something inside, so you're just shopping or eating or drinking too much, drugs.
Yeah. That's what I wanted to, I added this while we were talking. Yeah. I wanted to bring up the body image because I think she's important. Yeah. And it's like, if it's in reverse, you are completely insecure with you have low self-esteem. You might be feeling like lesser than, the Empress is the I think one of the cards that's the deepest of that.
Yeah.
Of self-image. Like, I know I can talk like that too. So there's that
upright is like love of self-image, love of everything,
love of all of everything. Love of the curves, love of the skinny or whatever. Like everybody has a thing. Every woman has a thing. Like the freckles on my legs, the cellulite, the this, the that. Everybody has something. And the Empress is like, yo, I'm this and I'm that, and I don't care. But when she's in reverse, she's like, oh my God, I have to show my leg, I have to show the freckles, I have to show the ugly toes of the,
yeah.
And that I'm working through that, and everybody knows that, most people. But it's like there's that moment where the Empress is like, who cares, right?
Yeah.
And that's the divine feminine.
Yeah.
She doesn't care at one point, but
she's all accepting of what is. And she knows it doesn't define who she is.
Yeah.
So, but that's the beauty of the Empress, the full expression, right?
So let's do, before we do the takeaways, our card pull.
Yeah.
Yay. So every week we're gonna pull
the way she does it,
like in reverse and all. Okay, interesting. They're all mixed up. Yeah, continue to say it.
Basically what she does is that she shuffles the cards and then she looks for the Empress. And then she takes the card before and after, and then we're going to give you different interpretations that we can have, so you can just have an idea of how to actually apply it to your readings
and how we both see it.
And exactly how we both could see it and in different ways. But also, we love, last week we had you guys actually tell us your interpretation of what you saw in the cards. So we would love to have that feedback as well.
And Lynn gave it to us and it was awesome. Thank you for that, because it was so completely different from Mars, but it was great.
Yeah,
because that's the beauty of tarot, is that
you can have different interpretations.
You can have totally different interpretations. But it ultimately comes out to the same, I think, sometimes. No?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes for sure. But that's the beauty of this community, of writing it down, because then you can be like, oh, I didn't think of that. Oh, that makes sense. Oh, that resonates with me. Or no, that doesn't resonate with me at all. And it's to trust, right? That intuition.
For shizzle. It's always the same. It's always at the end. Okay. This is interesting. Wow, man.
Are we going to do the reversal too?
Yeah, all reversal. But we can do it like this.
You can show them like that. And then
look, but
I think upright, just to give
you. But this was like this.
Okay.
The Empress shows up. Look at the Empress here. Her big pregnant belly, which is kind of beautiful, with the world. I love this one with the angel wings. She's so beautiful. And
she's represented also of Gaia, no? Mother of Gaia.
Yeah.
She's the material. Yeah.
And the before is the Eight of Swords, which you see her looking in the mirror, not really wanting to see what she has in the mirror. And
she's tied up, blindfolded. There's crows around her. So.
And the after is the Temperance.
The Temperance, yeah. He's sitting down holding the world.
He's holding both worlds, a divine feminine and a divine masculine world. The emotions. It's like the emotions and the mental state, kind of, or the spiritual state, whatever. So, hold this, please.
Yes.
You can tell yours while I grab this.
Well, for me, you said the 8 was before, right?
Yeah.
So I would look at this, and you have 2 major arcanas. So that says already a lot for me. Major arcanas is just, you have major pivotal events of your life, and then you have the minors, which is the 8 of Swords over here, which represent different elements, different state of beingness. So for me, there's like, before you're going to receive anything, before the Empress is about receiving, there's a little time that needs to be, like this patience needs to be acquired before. Temperance is all about patience. It's all about,
I'm going to put it on the thing.
Which thing? Oh, yeah, you can do that. It's all about patience. So whatever you ask for, depending on what the question was, right? Whatever you ask for, there's some patience, but there's also a very important, how can I say it? You need to look at yourself in the mirror and see, where am I not feeling worthy enough to receive? Where am I not feeling safe enough to receive? Or where am I not, where are my limiting beliefs preventing me from?
Because you're talking about the 8 of Swords now?
Yeah, the 8 of Swords, exactly. Like, to me, I see this and it's like, to receive what you want to receive, if that what the question was. Let's say the question was, when am I going to get the brand new house? To receive what you want to receive, you need to feel like you deserve this thing, that you've worked, that you've managed, and that you actually feel worthy of whatever's coming your way. And to be patient. And once you've stepped in front of that mirror and be like, well, can I handle the bills? Can I handle the rates? Can I handle, will I be happy, right? Do I deserve this house? Once you've looked at all of that and face those mirrors and remove those masks and remove those fears and doubts, that's when you're going to actually be able to receive. That's one interpretation that you can have.
Interesting. Okay.
What did you get?
I get, like, when I look at this, because of the Empress in the belly, I always see like a new project, a new baby, a new whatever coming in. And the Empress is wanting to create something. But she's so freaking, there's that insecurity that's like stopping her. Like, she's looking in the mirror and she's like, oh, I can't do this. I'm not able. I'm so worried about what is everyone else gonna think? How is everyone else gonna be? That's a very Empress energy to also to be like, this I feel like is like an Empress reversal, right? It's a Gemini energy.
And which can do exactly. That's how they complement each other, right?
Yeah, and it's like I feel like, but what's to understand if you don't know, but she has like a rope all around her, but it's very loose, the rope, and all she needs to do is go. Sorry. She has to like go like this, just like open her arms and the rope release herself.
Yeah.
But she's creating this stress, the anxiety. She's creating this in her mind with all these crows. There are a whole bunch of crows around her. That's all the thoughts. And the Empress is like, wow, man, I can do this, no problem. Like, I don't know what, like, that's kind of and the Temperance is always something the Temperance is like the balance of emotional and mental. Like the Temperance is a Sagittarius card, which I don't find the Temperance a Sagittarius card.
Yeah.
Well, I find it very weird because Temperance to me is very like good health.
Isn't it Aquarius? Oh, no, that's the star. Never mind. Sorry.
And I feel like it's when I see this and it's about a project, I said, you're worrying too much, Empress. Like, what's your problem? You got this. And the Temperance is like, yeah, man, you got to relax because everything is coming to you're like the Empress. The Temperance is an energy of like, it's a number 14, but it's also, even though it's not in the middle of the 22 journey, it's said to be that midpoint where the Fool gets there and it's like sees his mastery. He's able to master the emotional and the mental, and he says, "Oh, I can do this." And it's important to say this because the next step after that is the Devil, the 15. So that's where the Fool is like, "Oh." Gets all lost again because the Devil like presents another scenario for him, right?
Or tests him.
Yeah.
Comes for another test as well.
So anyways, I feel like this is a really good omen, actually, the card.
I find it interesting because for me, the Temperance is also like divine timing.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's a good, so it's like you're exactly where you need to be. But there's going to be a little
doubts are coming in. It's like, why isn't it here yet? Why isn't it here yet?
Coming in strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's to settle into that energy of the Empress of like, no, it's okay. I'm just rooting my roots and creating that foundation stronger and healthier.
And it's like I like in this card, I love that we're seeing the divine feminine, which is the moon, and the sun, which is the divine masculine. And this is like the balance of the both of them, right? Where the Empress is that exactly. And it's kind of interesting if you look at the astrology of this. This is the masculine energy, and this is the masculine. This is fire, and this is air, and she's feminine, which is
we're in the middle,
right? And she's between these two masculine energies, and she's like, "Yo, I got this." But thanks for the support, right? And we do have to thank the support of the anxiety too, right? Yeah, we always say we have to love the anxiety and the resistance. Yeah, it brings us to this balance.
Bring us to the balance. It practices helps just helps us forge a more precise and tool in our arsenal in terms of just centeredness and connectedness, right? It just practices this trusting in ourselves and trusting in the universe and trusting in everything that comes our way instead of judging it, right? So it's just like it's a great practice and something that we always
forget.
Is it forget or
like like push aside?
Yeah, like it's just sharpening your tool. You're just sharpening this like awareness, this consciousness, this
it's good.
It's trust in self.
Basically. Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
that's what she is.
Yeah,
and she ultimately loves herself, and she's ultimately like, for me, when I think about the Empress, I literally think of the 5 senses of this human world. She's everything. She's the eyes. She sees beauty. She smells the fragrance of the flowers.
Oh, I love that.
She tastes the food because she loves to eat.
I love that.
She touches the luxurious fabric of her throne, of her clothes, And what's the other sense that I'm missing? Hears. And she hears the beautiful chirping of the birds and the sounds of the trees.
It's like the almost ultimate presence. That's what you're explaining.
Yeah, but it's like the
present moment.
But everything is tactile. Like everything is like, that's Empress to me. I always
love
feel like
that.
Yeah.
I love that. That's the ultimate
embodiment
living.
of the divine feminine.
Yeah, and the living, like the ultimate joy of joie de vivre.
Exactly.
That you were saying. Yeah.
Because the masculine will have those, but differently.
Yeah.
And it's not, it doesn't even, I don't think that, and but it's a whole difference. Like it's a whole, like we're going to go that next week, you know?
Yeah.
But they might have obviously they have their five senses, but it's not like the Empress is literally like, will lose herself in all of them. And that could be and that could be the reverse too. She could lose herself in overeating. And over listening, oh, that's freaking awesome. Like listening to people, taking in all the information because people need to talk to her because she's the embodiment of the divine feminine. So she's going to over listen and get angry and get insecure,
Yeah.
So she can she over smell the judgment, like she can, like, there's like, yeah, that's interesting.
Overstimulating.
Overstimulation.
Yeah. Overstimulations in every area. Yeah. Which removes you from presence.
Yeah.
Technically speaking. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see? Wow, this was fun.
I agree.
Because I let us know if you like that, like going into each of the areas. I think I like that actually, whether you like it or not. We're gonna bring it in.
She has spoken.
I think it's nice to see it, how it could be resonates within the areas.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
That's perfect. You could just fast forward it. You could skip it.
It smells nummy.
The Palo Santo.
I haven't smelled that in a while. Okay. So your key takeaways this week with the Empress are:
how can you step into your divine feminine energy through self-love and self-care? So what is self-care for you, and how could you apply it to tap into that divine feminine energy?
Nice. Are you able to love yourself fully when you are feeling amazing and when you are not feeling so great? When you're feeling insecure, when you're feeling overweight, when you're feeling overstimulated, are you able to fully embrace your divine feminine energy? Whether you're a man or woman watching, again, right?
You're just loving yourself fully.
Loving yourself fully.
Yeah.
In all the states.
Yeah. And then the last one was, what aspect of the Empress can you
resonate with? Like, in what area of life can you apply it?
In what area of your life are you already applying it? And which one can you apply it more? Basically, where do you think like, it'd be good if I apply it here a little more? I apply a lot here, I apply a lot in finances and this and that, but what about love? How could I apply it there? So what areas do you already apply it? And where can you apply it?
Or more? Are you shadowing? Are you applying a lot of the shadow of you in love? It's interesting to see that, right?
Yeah, 100%. Because you're being more aware of all that jazz. And that's the beauty of tarot too. This is how you apply it and how you actually work with these cards. They're tools for self-awareness, tools to understand, not only to tap into your intuition, but also to kind of embody that, not hierarchy, not stereotype, but the archetype. Exactly. And how could you apply it, and what could you learn from it? Right. And that's the beauty of it.
And also I want to leave this with you, is like, just trust your intuitive hits when it comes to the cards that you see. Doesn't, like, if Katarina and I don't say it, and like it doesn't say it anywhere in another book, just trust it.
Yeah. If you're resonating with like, I feel like it's this, trust it. Because
I feel like it's a divine masculine energy, and you're like, okay, then go for it, right? Like, who's to say? But like we said, divine feminine, divine masculine, same thing anyway. It's just like where you're seeing it in your life at this moment in time. Just trust yourself. Yeah, exactly. At the end of the day, we are all one, and we're all here. And the separation and the polarity is beautiful too, because it gets to
show us a little more about ourselves. That polarity is necessary so we know more about ourselves. Without the resistance, we wouldn't really know who we truly are, right? And where we're going, or where we, not necessarily where we're going, but just practicing the self-awareness of what we are, where we are, who we are, right? So anyways, I think that's good.
Yeah. It was great. It was great. I
was going somewhere else with this, but I'm like,
she was like quiet for a long time, and I was like, oh, if she just talked, we would have stopped at 44, but she continued in her silence on the clock.
That's what you're thinking about?
Yeah, I'm thinking about it.
Doesn't matter. We love you very much. I hope this has impacted you or inspired you in one way or another. It's inspired me too. I came with like great epiphanies over here.
All right, I love it. Okay, guys. Yay! We'll see you next week. We're doing the Hierophant. No, the Empress. The Emperor.
The divine masculine. We're not gonna miss you, and we're not letting you go. Don't worry. Yeah, I love you. Divine.
And check out our podcast. We have Trust that came out this week. Love you.
No, that was last week.
Yes, last week.
Trust. A great episode too. At least that's what we think. Bye.
Bye.